Hi, this is a reply for Dark's Uptake Episode 2. I'm doing a reply vlog to one of our followers replied to my original blog. Ironically, I just realized the t-shirt I'm wearing, it's about video games. It's funny because I'm wearing this Infinity Blade t-shirt, which I believe is a video game. It was a gift, but yeah, I thought it was a little ironic. Anyway, let me go ahead and read this. This is from Paige Addams, one of our followers. She said, I've played some of those types of games. I played the Why Fit when it first came out and started playing again recently with a friend. And I have a PlayStation Move. I think the Why Fit is a little too easy to cheat with. If you just wave the controller around, you can trick the sensors. I tend to like the PlayStation Move better. It seems more accurate to me, at least. Playing archery and sword fighting is enough to make my muscles hurt a little, so you do get some exercise. Honestly, though, I still don't think it compares to actually getting out of the house and doing something, or even popping in an actual exercise video to follow. I haven't played any of those games, the ones with the physical activity. I mean, they're kind of an interesting thing, but I could see where you'd obviously maybe get more exercise from the real thing. Next thing was, but the good old-fashioned couch potato type games, the ones that don't make you move, are more fun to me. So I guess even if the kids do get a little exercise with these games, would they pick these games to play over something like Mario, Zelda, Final Fantasy, Dragon Age, Resident Evil, etc.? I know I don't. When I think about it, I tend to play the exercise games more socially, competing against friends, than I do to get actual exercise. So then, do you limit what games you get your kids beyond the obvious careful eye you have to keep on the game ratings? Do you only buy them the ones that require movement, or limit the number of other game options on the shelf at least? Or do you limit their game time period as you suggested? I think it brings up a whole other issue. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how they get kids to play these games. I mean, I would think that they would choose these other kind of games over these ones. Although sometimes kids like to jump around, and they're not allowed to jump around the house, so these games might allow them to kind of get to do that. It makes sense to me that these kind of games are better for social gatherings, whether it's a sleepover, kids sleepover, or just a party or whatever, and people get to do it. So yeah, I'd have to agree with you. That I wouldn't choose the physical one. That's me, and I think kids often wouldn't. So that's a different point, and that's a good point. In my opinion, and I'm not a parent yet, so this is looking from the outside of the situation, I would say kids are probably more likely to play the exercise games if you play with them, or if they have friends over to play with them, but I think going outside wins hands down. I love TV, movies, and video games, but I think it's probably best to at least put a time limit on them, and probably always have a rule about doing homework and chores first. I don't know about everyone else, but I get sucked into these games and have no concept of time passing. If I don't put a limit on my gaming, I will play all day without even noticing I skipped a meal, or that I have only a couple hours left until I'm supposed to go to work. So as much as I love games, I'd have to agree with you on this one. When I have kids, I'd like to limit game time and try and take them out to do things. Yeah, speaking as an adult playing video games, I played video games when I was a kid, but they're nothing like the ones they had now. But back in 2006, I was exposed to this video game. I'm sure everybody's heard of it, World of Warcraft. And I thought it was neat because it looked like you went into a world, and then there was the social aspect. So that's what drew me in. I've never been one of these the shooting game players. Even all the way back when I was a kid, I've always liked playing video games with people. I just prefer to do it with people. But anyway, so I got into World of Warcraft. And within a year, I had my own guild, and then built this huge social network where all these people would get together and raid, and I was running it, and a couple of us were running it, but they would leave, and then I'd run it, and I ended up being a guild master for several years, which I actually really enjoyed. I liked raiding, I liked social aspect, but like you say, I mean, these games really suck you in, and I definitely think that when it comes to adults, they play whenever they want. Yeah, as far as kids though, like you said, I agree. Like I originally said, and you agree that limiting them is probably a good idea. But I appreciate your feedback there, Paige. And you added some new thoughts as well. I appreciate that. So, and anybody else, bring it on. I only say bring it on because Ace Pete said he's going to be giving me a hard time about this topic. So we'll see if that happens.